Ria Konishi, representative of Kajayaki Seisaku Sho. We have come to know that our children with disabilities are not the same as us. That is, there are families who are offering themselves to prevent their children with disabilities from committing sexual crimes. It was the only way they could keep others out of trouble. Of course, we are not doing it because we want to. That's not true at all. But no one would help me, so I had to do it this way. He was a man who came home only on weekdays and weekends. But when I asked him what he was doing at home, he said, "I'm inserting myself." I asked him what he was doing at home. And he said, "I'm inserting myself into my mother," meaning he was inserting his penis into her. Some people with disabilities have sensitive skin and do not like condoms. The supporters around her tried to stop her, saying, "Mom, that's not right," but she wouldn't listen. Saying, "If I don't do it, my son will become a sex offender," and she became pregnant. I thought, that's not something a mother should try to do on her own. When interviewing people in the field of support for people with disabilities, stories often come up about cases where fathers and male siblings help with masturbation, or mothers provide sexual partners, although they do not actively discuss such matters with their supporters. On the contrary, there are cases of mentally handicapped daughters who repeatedly become pregnant and have abortions without knowing how to use contraception. They cannot even come for counseling. It has become a family affair. They think that such realities do not exist. It is very important to provide sex education to people with such disabilities in a way that they can understand. Shine Works is currently developing its business by contracting office work, public relations, and sex store cast members. 5 in Osaka on an outsourced basis. Some of the cast members have no previous experience in the sex industry and are only assisted by hand without being naked, while others have their own day jobs. There are more than 10 requests for delivery per month. Since public assistance is not available, the fee is 18,000 yen per hour. I have inquired with various municipalities, but it is not possible to take disabled persons to brothels with transportation support, one of the welfare services for the disabled, in which a helper accompanies a disabled person to shopping, etc. It seems that the government's view is that mobility support is only a service used for things necessary for living, and that sex is not necessary for living. However, people with disabilities, such as those who are physically paralyzed or who have hand disabilities, are unable to masturbate by themselves. They have the desire to do it, but they cannot do it by themselves. There are many people with disabilities who have the desire to masturbate, but they can't do it on their own. There are many people with disabilities who have never seen a woman naked. So many people want to touch and see women naked. Some go out with women or use it as a date course. Sexuality comes in many forms. The service does not necessarily involve ejaculation. Many of them want to get naked and have skin contact. There are various routes to apply for Konishi's services, from the person themselves, from the consultation support staff, who are care managers in the world of disability welfare services, or from the parents. Prior to the service, an interview is conducted, which, in addition to asking about the party's disability status and wishes, may also include the consultation support staff, other supporters, and the parents. For the longest person, it may take up to 6 months before using the service. If there is a desire for sex at the interview, they may inquire on their behalf whether it is available at a Sopland. In the Netherlands, where prostitution is legal, sexual services have been offered since 1980. Some municipalities allow medical insurance coverage, depending on conditions, if the person receiving sexual services has a disability. Denmark, France, Germany, and Switzerland have followed suit, and the World Health Organization (WHO) recommends that people with disabilities be consulted on sexual problems in welfare settings. What is the current situation in Japan? Konishi says, "I think the situation in Japan has been saved a lot in terms of human rights, because same-sex assistance is finally being recommended in Japan. However, there is an overwhelming shortage of male helpers. So male patients are often assisted by female helpers. https://www.kajayaki-seisaku show.com